I have a direct quote from a Premier League manager who says he would rather be sickly and pale than tan and well rested. Find out who next. This is Red Card Radio. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, whatever you're listening from. Thanks for tuning in. Red Card Radio is a weekly look at the Premier League from three friends support different clubs. My name is James. I support Arsenal. That guy up top is Brad. He supports Chelsea. Down below is Sean. He supports Tottenham. And would you have it? Would you know that the man who would rather be pale and sickly is your boy, Ange Postecoglou? He was asked in the presser before the Arsenal match. The reporter comes up and says, Ange, you looking tan and well rested. And he's like, yeah, it's because I haven't had a job. So, Ange Ball is back, baby. He is he's in rare form already.
Yeah. We also are, just as a distinction, we also are three different individuals.
True.
So,
yes.
Yeah, you were not wrong.
you were not wrong. Yeah.
As we all point out how that intro was amazing.
Yes. Thank you.
Yes. That is a elite level tease. You should have just left it a little bit longer.
Well, I didn't want people to be waiting too long. And next week, you don't want to be waiting too long to be notified that a new Red Card Radio has dropped. So hit that subscribe button, ring the sub notification bell. If you're on the podcast site, hit it with a follow, rate, review, whatever your site so allows. Hit the share button, send it to your buddies. Brad is holding up the number 3.
We are 3 subs away from 100 on our YouTube channel.
Oh, so
you listen to us on Spotify, Amazon Podcasts, iTunes, wherever. You could slide on over to the YouTube channel and hit that sub button. We've been waiting to hit 3 figures for a while, and we really we got to get it done for the end of this year. That's the goal.
I think our goal
January 1, we're gonna be 100.
I think our goal at the beginning of last season was get to 100 YouTube subscribers.
I think it was our goal at the beginning of the previous season.
Yeah, we're really good at goal setting.
Podcast. We set super realistic goals.
We're gonna struggle. Like we were at like 75 subs, and we're like, oh, we can get to 80. Well, we can get to 100 here this season. But what are
80?
What are our goals going to be once we do that? Once whoever it is that hits the subscribe button in his magic number 100, straight to the top,
1,000,
straight through the roof. Let's do it.
Through the roof.
Just think of a poster that's on a dentist wall. Just if you shoot for the moon, even if you miss, you land amongst the stars.
You sound like Saul Goodman talking to somebody. So
yeah, there you go.
All right, what are we doing tonight? We are talking about the Premier League. 10 games took place last weekend, round 4. A couple interesting ones, some predictable. We're not talking about the Champions League because who cares about that. Let's dig in. Were either of you guys shocked to see Aston Villa put up another goose egg on their goals for column?
This is absolutely crazy. Like Aston Villa last year were banging goals pretty consistently, unless I'm like not remembering things correctly.
And they scored a fair number of goals. They didn't I don't think they blew anyone away. Like I don't think they
58.
Yeah, that's greater than almost
incredible.
It's greater than a goal a game.
2?
Yeah, just under. But yeah. It's like
1.5 a game, whatever. Yeah, I guess you're probably closer to right.
I am, but it's okay.
You didn't get the trivia question right, so
it's true, I didn't.
Shut your face about math. So what has happened to Ollie Watkins? What has happened to their goal scoring ability? What has happened to their goalie? There's so many questions around Aston Villa that we didn't think we'd have to ask.
I think I want to point back to we were like 3 or 4 weeks before the season started, and it was that net spend chart that the Athletic printed out or produced, and Aston Villa had spent like £2 million. Like they didn't do anything this summer. Like they finally did get a couple signings across the line, but everyone else got better and they just didn't do anything. I think Aston Villa probably got worse.
Sure, but Fulham didn't do anything, and they're 11th, and
Yeah.
they have
Well,
3 goals.
okay, and
They're like almost won a game.
one of those goals was a own goal against Leeds, which I was going to get to here in a second, which was was really bad. So they've only scored. Wait. Fulham have only scored 3 goals.
Yeah.
2 of them were
And one
against
of them's
United,
penalty.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, they're not doing
well,
well. Either.
Hey, and you know what's even funnier with Fulham? Not to like diverge us from Aston Villa anymore, but their goal of the month
Oh, yeah.
for last month was a goal that didn't count.
That's because it was a good goal, and they got robbed in that.
And it
Didn't
should have
count.
been, and they got robbed.
Yeah.
So anyways, so the thing with Villa is I don't think generally in sports, I don't think that run it back is the worst thing to do. So Villa said, run it back. We're just not going to sell our players. I don't think it's the worst thing ever. Arsenal have been doing it for a few years. You just added maybe a little piece here or two. But you basically rocked with the same 11 for 2 years in a row? Roughly the same 11, right?
Sure, roughly. Yeah.
This year you were like, okay, well the last 2 years didn't work, so we're gonna mix it up this year. So this year not included, but like 2 years ago, you finished second and you were like, all right, let's run it back. We're actually not that far, and then you finish second again. And I'm not trying to rub salt in the wound, but run it back is not the worst strategy.
But
if you think you've got
Arsenal still spent a lot lot of money, brother.
yeah, Arsenal have been making incremental
but it was on
changes.
depth.
Incremental changes.
So
Like,
Yeah.
like
I don't know. They added a goalie. They added a different striker last year. They added.
it was
Well,
2
Kai Havertz
years
played
ago.
more of a striker than everything
It was
else.
2 years. Kai Havertz was 2 years ago, wasn't he?
No, he was last
2
year.
years. No,
last year was his first year with Arsenal.
No, 2 years.
Yeah.
maybe
It was 2 years ago.
He was in DC. That's all I remember.
He was really bad in DC. This was the first kit he wore. Was his 2 years old?
Yeah, the tennis ball.
But I take your point, Sean. Is that run it back can work.
sometimes like they didn't finish. They just missed out on Europe, right? They're not in Europe.
I think a better
Villa are in
example. I
Europe.
think a better example of run it back is Liverpool last year, where
Villa are in Europe, my guy.
2 summers ago, Liverpool made no signings, and then last year they won the league, right?
Yeah.
The first summer that Arne
Like
Slot came in.
sometimes you look at your roster and think, well, has to be better than it is, right? Like we are better than our results. So there's no point in spending because we have really like I'm not going to be able to purchase somebody better than I'm not going to be able to buy a replacement that's better.
Sure, and I think that works if you're Liverpool and you're running.
And but my point is that also
levels to
scales down. That also scales down if you're Aston Villa and your budget's less. I can't afford anybody that's going to improve this roster. Let's run it back. I think there's a point. There's a scalability with that.
I see what you're saying. I think it's very dangerous for a team like Aston Villa to do that, though. Like, I think that's my point. Is that if you look at the teams all around Aston Villa, they've all spent money to get better, right?
Welcome to PSR, my guy. And they're Aston Villa is in Europa League. Like
Okay, so they didn't make
literally they're. Well, and Aston Villa, if we look at their trends, they are spending like they were spending like a top 6 club. They
needed a reset.
I think their wage bill is huge.
Their wages are like top 5 or top 6 in the Premier League, and they don't necessarily have the on paper revenue streams to be able to support that.
Yeah. So I don't know.
So
I think
that's the problem with PSR is you can't spend the money that you can't show you made.
So Emery said, "Don't worry, I will win."
We showed the money, baby.
Yeah, you guys made up
everywhere
the money.
else.
Made up the money.
Just
Emery said, "I will win every cup."
I am worried. I see the joke you're trying to make. I didn't appreciate it when AFTV started making fun of him for his
evening.
Yeah, when they started making fun of him, I'm not a big fan of that personally.
All right.
I'm worried for
when
Unai
English
Emery.
isn't your first language.
Like that was my point when AFTV was doing it to him. I was
It's not his
like,
first language.
This man has come from Spain, doesn't speak English, and he's doing the best he can to like learn the language and then do all of his press conferences and all of his press stuff in English. And you guys are out here ridiculing him because he says evening instead of evening. Like I was like, that was messed up, y'all. Anyway, like
Aston Villa suck. This is really funny.
But Aston Villa,
this is how we tie
Villa have Sunderland next week. Like
they might.
They got to score that.
I thought Palace was going to win, but Sunderland's putting up a real good fight.
I mean, they'll be at the Stadium of Light
for sure.
But like, you gotta that's a game you gotta score some goals. Because I don't know.
Maybe don't.
I don't know who they have afterwards.
Because clearly Sunderland are really hard to score on. And Sunderland spent all of the promoted spent
tremendous
a lot of money combined, especially Sunderland, chief among those, spent a lot of money to make sure they stayed in the Premier League.
And
they're doing a good job of it.
What do you guys think about this Liverpool situation? Another late winner, all 3 points going back up to Anfield. They've had so this is the way I would break it down so far, and this is Liverpool fans, calm down. I'm not coming after you guys, but the 3 games that they won minus the Arsenal game have been all like very late winners. Against Bournemouth in the opening match, they scored 2 at the end, but I think their winning goal was in like the 88th minute. This goal against Burnley was in the 94th minute. I forget the other one.
Penalty.
But it was late. And then Arsenal, they scored the worldie, like Szoboszlai had that fantastic, beautiful free kick. Yeah. But that's all they got in that game.
Yeah.
This isn't the same dominant Liverpool step on your throat, score 5 goals that we've seen in the past. Should Liverpool be worried? Should they be concerned? Or is it just new season jitters? They've picked up the points. That's all you can ask for. They'll get better through the season. They shouldn't worry because they're putting the points in the bank.
I mean, are any of their new signings besides Ekitike, besides they're doing anything, or is this like rocking up as the same?
Well, Kirkez is playing a lot. He only played a couple, like 40 minutes or something against Burnley because he picked up an early yellow card and Slot was worried about him. I think
Wirtz hasn't really done anything for his 120 million.
Frimpong's injured. Yeah, Wirtz, I think, is still getting his legs in the Premier League. And Isak is injured.
Ekiteke's had a couple of goals. Isak is building up his fitness because he wouldn't work. Like he didn't work for Newcastle, so he didn't have a preseason.
It's wild to me that he didn't you would think that you would find a way. I mean, I guess you can't really train match fitness against your boys in the park if you're Alexander Isak, right? Like it's not going to work that way.
Yeah, but you probably can't because of your contract.
I mean, he didn't care about his contract. At Newcastle,
no, you still want that paycheck. Like, look, you can refuse to go play, but you do dumb stuff, they can take your paycheck. But the team is still performing because it's the players from last year that are still performing.
Well, I guess my point, my question is, are you at all worried about them long term? Are you guys worried about them long term, or is it just like, nah, they're gonna get better and they're putting the points in the bank, so it's just good.
My only there's a general rule of thumb among it's in baseball and it's in NFL that you win a number of 1-score games or 1-run games, that runs out eventually. Like if you're not thoroughly beating people, eventually that table turns, that you start losing those 1-score games. So those really tight, or in football terms you would draw them. But if in NFL and baseball you can't draw, but eventually that if you're fighting that many tough fought out wins and you keep coming out on the good side, eventually the other side's going to come back around. If you're in that many tight games, you come back to the mean a little bit.
Yeah.
And so eventually, if Liverpool keeps flirting with this, where they're not winning games until the 85th 6th, 7th, if they're not winning games until then, eventually they're not going to win those games.
And the fine margins in the Premier League is that like if you slip up and you drop a couple points here or there, like we've seen just a few points separate the levels in this league over the last couple of years. So I mean, I'm of the opinion I know
There's like 4 teams on 9, right? There's like 4 teams on 9.
I couldn't tell you. I haven't looked at the table.
Oh, yeah, it's not round 10.
I asked the question, and to me it seems like a loaded question because I'm not at all concerned about Liverpool in terms of their ability to turn on. I think it's new season jitters. Like I think after the October international break is when these teams will really start to hit their stride and get in form. Because it's like October to like March or something like that with no international breaks. So I think they'll really start to get in stride at that point. So I asked the question and I didn't even agree with the premise of the question, but I felt I needed to ask it anyway. Brad, tell me why you're more mad at a non-offside call than you are at Garnacho not marking a man at the back post in the 88th minute against Brentford.
In the 93rd minute?
Whenever it was. I couldn't tell you.
So last week, the Fulham goal, everybody's up in arms because VAR didn't rule it out, and it was terrible.
It was a terrible call.
But this time, this is a terrible call for offsides, and nothing happens. Nobody talks about it. I'm just pointing out the hypocrisy of being a Chelsea fan that we deal with all the time.
Yo, I'm gonna yeet you off the call if you start to play the world's smallest violin for Chelsea fans.
What do you want? What? I'm just saying. The media, the refs are all against us.
Okay. All right.
And they still can't make us lose. We're still undefeated for the season. They tried.
Yes, wait till you head up to Old Trafford this weekend, brother.
Put it up there?
Find out about that on the preview.
Yes, you'll have to tune back in on Friday for that one. But no, but seriously, Brad, you are of the opinion that this is offside. The Brentford player, couldn't tell you who it is, was in an offside position. He was standing in front of Reece James and
attempted to play the ball while being in an offsides position.
The attempt to play the ball, it doesn't matter because he didn't play it. The issue is, did he impact Reece James? That's the question, because he doesn't have to try and play. Even if he's just standing there in an offside and in an offside position, he's offside. He just stands there. He doesn't make an attempt on the ball, and he still impacts Reece James' ability to play the ball. He would still be offside. His desire to try and play the ball or not play the ball has no impact on whether or not he is materially impacting Reece James,
which he does.
So your contention is that
James from being
that's your contention.
That it impacts the play. Yes, that he's impacting the play. The Reece James cannot defend the ball properly because there's somebody in front of him that shouldn't be there.
You're saying if you just slurp that guy out of that position, that Reece James would win that ball 100 times.
Yes.
I disagree. Because my read of the play, and again, this is one of the subjective calls that we get for offside, right? When the player is there, and to your point, he does go for the ball. When he goes for the ball and Reece James goes for the ball, by the time Reece James is reacting to the header from the Brentford player, in that short period, by the time he's moving his leg, the ball is already past him. From my view of the replays, this is just what I'm saying. I'm not disputing that the guy was in front of him, but the time from the header on the Brentford, the play on from the Brentford player, where he plays it on and it goes behind him and goes past Reece James. You see Reece James stretching out to get the ball, but by the time he puts his foot to where the ball needs to be, the ball is already behind him. And I will point out, in my opinion, I don't think that the player unsights Reece James. I think Reece James sees this whole thing because there's a really great picture from behind the goal, the video from behind the goal, where Reece James can see all of this happening, and then the guy comes into play. So that's my take on it. I think your biggest gripe needs to be on the fact that Garnacho doesn't play defense. That's who you should really be
signing him.
Enzo Maresca should be apoplectic about that.
Well, he probably will be in Enzo's basement for a little bit. Get his defense up.
Right. Like that's unforgivable in the
But
93rd minute
93rd
to not be
minute.
marking someone at the back post. Like that's the bigger issue.
But should have been offsides.
Subjective. And
Then it doesn't matter.
Subjective.
Which
And I showed
which
you
I don't
disagree.
understand. Like offsides is not subjective.
But that specific aspect of offside is subjective because the question is whether or not the offside player impacted the play because he doesn't touch the ball.
But him being there impacts the play.
In
Does it not?
In your belief, not in my belief, that's the aspect that's subjective about it, is you have to make a determination. Did that player impact the play? It's the one aspect of subjective. That's the one subjective aspect of offside is when a player who doesn't play the ball but is offside, does he impact the play? Does he unsight the player? Does he, does he hold the player? Does he like shove him a little bit? Like that's, like that's impacting the play. In this situation, he's just there.
And I think Reese misses the ball because he went for where the ball would have been
Certainly
had the
possible.
player hit it.
Certainly possible.
So like, that's my 2 cents on that.
So it was in Reece James' head, not the referee's head.
Which isn't that what's important in this?
Yeah.
Is like if the player is impacted, not if the referee is impacted.
Yeah, I mean that. Yes, what Sean said.
That's on the player. That's not.
No,
just
but
because he thinks something's happening,
but
doesn't mean
yes,
it is happening.
You're 100% correct, Sean. And
you're
that
making
is
an argument.
100%
You're making an
why
argument
you're
for
making
him.
the argument for me when you're trying not to. And you like yes.
Yeah, you are.
You are.
No, I'm not.
If the player is impacted,
that's on Reece James.
If the player is impacted, then it is offsides.
It's on Reece James, but the guy is offside, and so therefore it's on him, not Reece James.
No, it's not.
What? All right, we got to move on. You need to watch
Reece
the highlights.
James bad.
Oh, true.
We knew. That's what you wanted to say. You should have just said that.
Yeah, Sean was silent the whole time during that conversation.
He was just like,
he should have just ripped.
I didn't see the play, so
he should have just ripped a Reece James bad. So. You should see the play. It's in the extended highlights on YouTube, at least in America. Check the highlights. Let us know in the description what you think.
In the comments, not in the description. The description will write.
Yeah.
The comments you write.
True comments. Thank you, Brad. Appreciate it. A couple unsurprising results that I kind of buried when we started with was the 3 sets of 3-0 victories. Arsenal beat Forest 3-0, Spurs beat West Ham 3-0, and City beat United 3-0. I think I need to quickly go to the Google sheet, look at our spreadsheet, because I think everybody got those correct except for Sean and me and Joel. So Joel and I both had a draw in the Spurs West Ham game. I think those are troll picks. And Sean had a draw in the City United game. I think I convinced him. Oh, and Chap was wrong in the United game as well.
So nobody did this.
Well, everybody got Arsenal right. I'm just throwing that out there. Everybody got Arsenal right. And then most of us got Liverpool right, or sorry, City right, and most of us got Spurs right. But I think I was gonna say I think if you asked everyone before we started, they would have picked those games, but clearly they didn't.
Wow.
Okay, since I'm here, I've got the spreadsheet up. What we're doing right now is every week we make picks. You can join the fun too. It's in Discord. And last week, Jimmy and Joel got the most picks correct. They got 7 out of 10. So, Joel, very good job. Jimmy, we're still not convinced that Jack isn't helping you pick. I think it's a 2-person job over there. You'll have to come on the podcast and defend yourself. But in first position, we got a tie for first. It's Brad and James. Me and you, Brad.
Comeback. The comeback is on, sir. Catching you.
It's not even
past you.
Catching. I think I did better than you this week. No, you did one. You did one better than me. You did one better than me.
Yeah.
falling.
They won better than you last week. And the week before that.
Falling way behind is tied for third. Could you imagine? It's Sean and Jimmy. They are way far behind in third.
Can't even see them. We're lapping the pack.
Technically second.
No, tied for third.
Okay.
You got 2 people tied for first. Got 2 people tied for third. There is no second when 2 people are tied for first. If you had 3 people tied for first, there would also be no third. There'd be no second, no third. So, these are facts for you, Sean. You are a whole 1 point behind us in first position. So, step your game up.
You're just factually incorrect.
I mean, I'm absolutely not. This is the long debate on Red Card Radio, and I am objectively correct. So, but we're done. We're leaving. We're out of here. Come back later this week. We will have a preview of round 5 in the Premier League. We'll check out all those games. Merseyside Derby this weekend. So those are always spicy. So definitely check back for that on Friday. Hit us up on social media. That guy up top is at KSBradG. Down below is Whiteheart_Sean. I am at James Tiffany. Collectively, we can be reached at redcard_radio. And if you've listened this long and you still haven't hit the subscribe button, you could be the one. You could be the one to get to big 100. So make sure you do that. We'll be back later this week. Can't wait to be there. I hope you guys listen and enjoy. We'll see you guys soon. Have a good one.